guys, and welcome back to another episode of Train Terms Talk Show. This is now the 26th episode, and we are looking at the liveries and the heritage units of the Union Pacific Railroad. Like, over a month ago, we did the liveries and heritage units of Norfolk Southern right here. And now we're doing UP. Now, unlike NS, UP only has 6 heritage units this time, so we're also going to do the liveries as well. This isn't like too hard to learn. You should, for those of you who are like new to the rail fan community and all that good stuff, you should be able to learn all this within a couple of days or something. I don't know. I don't know at all, but I mean, who knows? Anyway, we're going to do the liveries first, and then we'll save the best for the last, which is the heritage units. So anyway, without further ado, let's begin. So, to start off with the liveries of Union Pacific here, this is just pretty much your basic livery right here. It's just the regular paint that you see on, well, not all Union Pacific locomotives, but this is the older paint right here. There's not really a name for this livery, but I really do not think that there is a name for this specific livery where it just has the letters Union Pacific on the side. But this is the older livery. So a lot of AC-44s and AC-60s or Jeeps units that you see, they might look a little old and dirty because this is an older paint. Now, if you were to be rail fanning on the Union Pacific, more than likely you would see this livery that is on your screen, because this is the newer one. The previous one that I showed you was the older one. Instead of seeing the words Union Pacific on the side, you see the American flag. You also notice the UP logo and Building America right over there. Now, this is just simply called a flagged unit. And now, here's a much older livery right here. This livery is also very, very rare to see. This is called the We Will Deliver livery. Why? Well, you can see the letters We Will Deliver on the side. That was kind of like UP's old slogan for the railroad. Now, what makes this livery so rare? Well, the reasoning why is because, number one, the livery is pretty old, and number two, a lot of these We Will Deliver units are on now retired units, such as the C41-8W, the C40-8, and some are on the AC60 CWs, the SD60s, a lot of older UP units that are now retired. And now, the rarest kind of Union Pacific livery. And this livery will probably be gone soon, so if this comes your way, you better catch it if you can. Because this could be, because you never know, it could get repainted in 2021. And 2021 is getting pretty dang close. So anyway, the name of this livery here is just simply called a patched CNW. Why? Well, as you can see, it is wearing the Chicago and Northwestern livery. Union Pacific acquired Chicago and Northwestern in 1995, and this is the only AC-44 now that is in CNW paint. And if you look on the cab over there, you can see the patch right there that Union Pacific made, UP 6706. And now here's another kind of patched locomotive. Well, as you can see, it's wearing the Southern Pacific livery, because Union Pacific acquired the Southern Pacific as well, but this time it was in 1996, 1 year after the CNW. So we just call this a patched SP. Now, which patched unit is more rare, a patched SP or a patched CNW? Well, it's a CNW because there are multiple patched SPs left. Most of them are AC-44 CWs. Other ones are SD40M-2s, rebuilds of the SD40-2. Some of them are also Jeeps. Well, some patched SPs have been sold to NREX as well from the UP. Well, UP has a third kind of patched unit right here. It is also wearing the Southern Pacific livery, but it is a different railroad, but it was also acquired by Southern Pacific in the 80s. So this railroad is called the Cotton Belt, as you can see, but the actual name is the SSW, or St. Louis Southwestern Railway. Most of these patched locomotives are GP60s. Well, what's the name of this livery? Well, we just call it a patched SSW. And now, here's a unique livery right here. Instead of the armor yellow that the Union Pacific wears, this unit is gray. Well, how come it's gray? Well, that's because this was also a former Southern Pacific unit, and then they repainted it. However, though, unfortunately, this livery no longer exists, as later on it got repainted into the armor yellow. But anyway, here, this locomotive is gray, but they called this a gray ghost, just like the Kansas City Southern gray ghost from back in the day, which the Kansas City Southern gray ghosts are very, very rare. It's too bad this livery no longer exists now. And now here's something different right here. This is two combined liveries. As you can see here, this livery is an Operation Lifesaver. And there's also the We Will Deliver on there. So it's a We Will Deliver unit wearing the Operation Lifesaver livery. It's two liveries combined together. Very unique to see. I do believe 6736 was also a former Chicago and Northwestern unit. I believe the livery also exists as well, because I looked on rrpictures.net and looked at images and everything, and it did not show a single picture of UP 6736 without the Operation Lifesaver livery. So I do believe the UP OLS unit is still in existence. Hopefully that is correct, because if it is, I'm going to be pretty sad about it. Well, not pretty sad, I mean, that's going to suck, though. And now here's this Union Pacific unit right here with the American flag colors on it. The good old red, white, and blue. We all love that. And this is one of my favorite liveries. Do not quote me on this at all, but I think this livery is now gone, which I am very sorry to say to you, but I think the livery is gone. Don't quote me, I could be wrong. This livery could still be here. But this unit here is not celebrating 1776 or anything like that, like the other railroads did. This is actually just called the United Way livery. This was also a one-of-a-kind livery as well, only used on that one SD40-2 3300. Now here is an older livery that was also painted on an SD40-2 and was also a one-of-a-kind. UP 3593, also known as Desert Storm. That is the name of livery right there. This unit is very cool. Looks kind of like a military locomotive with the camo and stuff, but this is just called the Desert Storm. And now here is also one of my other favorite locomotives. I do not quote me on this. I could be an idiot and be wrong for this, but I think this unit only comes out on special events, and when it's not out, I think it's like in storage or something. I'm not 100% sure on that. But this is UP 4141, and this was the unit that pulled George Bush's funeral train, the 41st President of the United States, which is why they called it 4141. This is an EMD SD70 ACE right here. Now, just a reminder, this is not a heritage unit. This is just a special interest unit. But special interest units are different from heritage units, just so you know. Other units like UP 1943 and 1111, which we will get to, those are not heritage units at all. This is just like a special interest unit, just to let you know on that. And now, here is one of the other liveries here. This is the Spirit of Union Pacific, my all-time favorite livery that's currently out on Union Pacific, and pretty much my all-time favorite special interest unit. Now, another thing, this is not an SD70 ACE, for as a matter of fact, it is an SD70AH. Now, the difference between the SD70AH and the SD70 ACE is that the SD70AH weighs 8,000 pounds more than an SD70 ACE. So the unit is heavy, which hence is what the H stands for. You all would already know that if you watched my Train Terms Talk Show episode on the EMD SD70 series, because I discussed that on there. And now here is also a very, very unique thing to see right here. This is Union Pacific's latest special interest unit, I believe. This is UP 1111, powered by our people, and this time it is an SD70 ACE and not an AH. Well, that is the last of the liveries of Union Pacific, and now it is time to move on to the heritage units. If there are any liveries that I have forgotten from the Union Pacific Railroad, then just let me know. I mean, if I do forget any, then I apologize. But if there are any liveries that I forgot, then let me know in the comment section. But now, let's move on to the heritage units of UP. So as I said in the beginning of the video, UP only has 6 heritage units. The first one was unveiled in July 30th of 2005, and the final one, the 6th one, was unveiled on August 19th of 2006. So here's the first UP Heritage Unit, the one that was unveiled on July 30th of 2005. This is UP 1982, the Missouri Pacific Heritage Unit. Now, if you look on the cab there, the number 1982, that is also the year that Missouri Pacific merged with Union Pacific. And that's pretty much what they did with the 5 other heritage units. The locomotive number is the year that the railroad was acquired. And then here's this other heritage unit. This is just called the Western Pacific Heritage Unit. And this here is my favorite out of all 6 heritage units. This one just looks the best. I used to think 1989 was the best, but 1983 just really grew on me. And yep, they named it 1983 because 1983 was the year that Western Pacific was acquired by UP. This unit was unveiled with UP 1982 on July 30th of 2005. And then early August of 2005, not too long after 1983 and 1982 were unveiled, UP 1988 was unveiled, the Katy. Well, that's not the name of the actual railroad. The actual name of the railroad is the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Railroad, or you can just call this MKT for short. And then, unveiled on June 17th of 2006, comes the Rio Grande, or the Denver, Rio Grande and Western Railroad. This is UP 1989, my second favorite heritage unit. And now this unit was unveiled in July 15th of 2006. And this is the Chicago and Northwestern, UP 1995. And if you look closely enough at the photo, you can see that there is an unpatched C&W trailing, and there's also another one over there. It's just a little hard to tell. And if you look around the photo, the very smart rail fans would be able to tell that this was taken at Rochelle Railroad Park. And now, the 6th and final heritage unit. This is the only heritage unit that I have caught on video. My third favorite one, UP 1996, the Southern Pacific Heritage Unit, and it was unveiled on August 19th of 2006. This isn't the only actual UP Heritage Unit that I've seen. I've seen this one, 1995, 1989, and 1988, but I still have yet to catch 1982, and I was supposed to catch 1983, but I completely missed it. Alright guys, well, that is it for today's episode of Train Terms Talk Show. This was definitely one of my longest ones yet. And, well, as I said, just let me know if I forgot about any liveries of the Union Pacific. I got all the heritage units, but I don't know if I got all the liveries, but I'm pretty sure I did. But anyway, that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying this awesome content that I'm giving to you. Also, hit the like button on all my videos as well. Well, I do. I have over 1,000 videos, so good luck with that. Well, anyway, GR Productions is out.